Hey guys, my name is Joni and this is Branching Business. It's an early morning here, but I wanted to make you guys another video. In this video I talk about options and probabilities. And my next book is about options. So I just wanted to give you a little taste of what's going to be the topic of my next book. So let's start with an example. So imagine that you are in school and you have a test and you really ace that test and you get a good result of that test. But what do you think is the best case scenario? What will happen? I think the best case scenario is that you get a full remark, you get an A or 10 out of 10 points or whatever, and perhaps something extra. You might get public recognition, and if you care about that, and that might be important if you care about that. But anyways, what I want to say is that there's very limited upside, and it's not like the teacher will come to you and hand you $50 and a stipend and all that. It's not gonna happen, and most of our lives is just like that we do things with very limited upside. And yeah, so we do things that have limited upside, and what is worse, those things that have limited upside might have a monstrous potential downside as well. So if I have an option that gives me steady results over the years and I stick with that one option, then it might, in the worst case scenario, bring me also monstrous downside if I'm not consistently lucky with that one option. So my life philosophy is about probabilities and options, and it amazes me how people don't take more advantage of their options, in a sense that we should all look for more opportunities with limited downside risk and perhaps even unlimited upside potential. So let's take other examples. So if I start doing something that's hard, let's say I start coding or I start writing or I start doing some kind of car mechanic work or something like that, then I know that it's hard, but there's more upside potential than in many other things that I might do. And perhaps that's not the best example, but let's say that you start coding and if I ask that what is the limit of on the upside, then it's hard to see that the upside limit would be low, because if you start coding and you get really good at it, then you have an option to start your own business and you can develop your own business, and eventually you might be able to sell it and become really wealthy. So there are many things in our lives like this that could improve our lives remarkably, but we don't see and take advantage of those options. And it's not like you need to become a coder, or it's not like you need to take advantage of this or that option. The point is that you should have so many options that even when those options are low probability, they can stack up and give you better probabilities overall. So even low probability events can stack up, and when you have enough low probability events with huge upside, that means that eventually you're gonna succeed with at least some of those options and get that upside that you might be looking for in your own life. So I recommend that all people look for options and try to search for those options that have more upside potential, and try to use less those options that have limited upside potential. For example, let's say that you have a long career and you're really desperate and it hasn't brought you the results that you wanted, then it could be that that kind of situation is where you have only, where you see that you have had only one option, and that is to stay in your current work. So you might say to yourself that you have only one option, but if you stick only with one option and that has very limited upside, you're not gonna get a promotion or any of that. So then you find yourself in a situation where your options are very limited and there's very little upside potential. And it's a shame, and our society definitely teaches us from a very early age to do things that have little upside potential. It starts from school. You do things that don't bring any huge results. And then you might for the rest of your life do things that have very limited upside, and you might always be looking for those minimum rewards that come from teachers or from other people or from your work. So you might be saying to yourself that it's enough to stick with those limited options. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again in one of my future videos. Thanks. Bye bye.